On December 10, 2009, a mysterious spiral appeared over Norway above the White Sea. This spiral Stargate, as was called in many media outlets, was witnessed and caught on tape by onlookers. While speculation has ranged from HARP to Nibiru to Russian missile tests, we will examine the spiral here in a different way in this video.
Mornings before that tonight, Norwegian authorities are investigating strange lights seen in the Arctic sky. The spiralling white light was seen for several minutes Wednesday morning. Locals say the light appeared to be bigger than the moon. Thousands of Norwegians bombarded the Meteorological Institute to ask what that light could have possibly been. Some feared it could have been a meteor, others a black hole, and there are even those that thought it could be aliens. But defence experts in Oslo suggest it is more likely to have been a failed Russian missile launched from the area of the White Sea. They think a rocket probably went out of control and self-destructed. There's been no official comment, though, from the Russian military.
In a bizarre coincidence, the LHC CERN facility created world record energy collisions the same day, December 10, 2009, as the mysterious spiral was observed. Watch here as Sergio Bertolucci, the director for research computing at CERN, talks about the ability to be able to open up wormholes using CERN.
I could just go on just telling you the other things which make this thing absolutely unique and most possibly the biggest scientific enterprise tried by mankind up to this point. I don't know whether it's clear or not, but just doing the LHC and the experiment and getting all the information is more complicated than sending a man to the moon. And this is not said by us, it's said by the people who sent the man to the moon. Four figures. Two of them are general purpose. They want just to see everything, and they are very poised just to get all the possible things which might come out. You know, when you do a new machine, there are three types of things you are looking at. You are looking at the things you expect, and you know that they are there, and you use them just to prove which is working properly. And then there are certain class of new things that you expect. So you call them the known unknowns. But what really makes a difference sometimes in this type of machine are the unknown unknowns, the things which you are not even expecting and that we will hope to find. For instance, I think we might change totally our perception and the physics of every day if we would discover some large extra dimension. Imagine that for a moment we succeed just to open up one of these compactified dimensions which should be there, and out of this door could come out something, or we could put in something. And we would, at this moment, defy the conservation of energy, which is one of the most believed theorems in all the history of physics. These experiments in themselves are really a miracle of technology.
Here we see the Sumerian god Enki, or Ea, coming through a stargate surrounded by water. According to biblical text, there is a hidden door to the abyss in the vicinity of the Euphrates River, a stargate. It has been there buried under those ruins in Eridu for thousands of years. It is known as the Abzu, and this is where it said Enki built a temple of Abzu to facilitate the usage of this stargate. This is highly interesting considering that the spiral over Norway appeared over the White Sea. Here we see the Anunnaki king Ninurta. This relief found in a British museum shows him in a gateway, clearly using his finger to push something on the wall of the gate. Could he be activating the Sumerian Stargate? Also, something on his wrist looks very similar to a modern-day wristwatch. An emblem around his neck is similar to the modern radiation symbol and also the Maltese cross. Notice in the top left-hand corner, we have unidentified symbols, some of which may appear to be Sirius, a compass, maybe possibly pertaining to a Masonic correlation, and then also very tellingly, the shell, the spiral. One theory that has been postulated by researchers is that prior to 9/11, the U.S. government obtained intelligence that hidden somewhere in Iraq was a Stargate placed there by the Anunnaki gods of ancient Sumeria. According to ancient Sumerian cylinder seals and texts, when Nibiru, the alleged 12th planet, is closest to Earth, the Anunnaki will take the opportunity to travel to Earth through that same Stargate and will set up their encampment in Iraq. Could this explain the invasion and subsequent looting of the Baghdad Museum during the invasion in 2003? And why all the cylinder seals and Sumerian text, clay tablets, and statues were taken when Special Forces and the alleged Task Force 20 invaded this house of antiquities? It is believed that the U.S., Russia, Germany, and France had been aware of this Stargate and believed that Saddam Hussein had been getting assistance from Russia, Germany, and France in an attempt to unravel and perhaps reverse engineer this apparatus. While no one knows for sure what the mysterious Norway spiral is, it is important to look at the connections between the Stargates of Sumeria, back engineering technology, and the looting of the Baghdad Museum for Antiquities, and all the things that have subsequently happened since the invasion of 2003.
The civilized world cannot stand by while these priceless antiquities are being illegally looted, stolen, or smuggled and sold at auctions. We will continue bringing awareness to this devastating crime against the history of our forefathers and humankind until every piece of those antiquities have been recovered and returned to our homeland Assyria, also known as Iraq.
The Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, Mohammed Abbas al-Raibi, met with the Italian ambassador to Iraq. The two men discussed ways of returning Iraqi antiquities currently in Italy to Iraq. Italy has already returned a number of Iraqi antiquities to the National Iraqi Museum.
The Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, Mohammed Abbas al-Raibi, and the Italian ambassador to Iraq met at the ministry in Baghdad. They talked about Iraq's historical treasures and its priceless antiquities. They also discussed creating an agreement between Iraq and Italy.
We talked about restoring the museums in the three provinces, Diwaniyah, Nasriya, and Najaf. The second part of our meeting was about returning Iraqi antiquities that are presently in Italy.
Returning the symbols and valuable Iraqi artifacts is a work of major importance, as the antiquities represent the memory of this country. The Italian ambassador said that a number of Iraqi antiquities in Italy will be returned.
The antiquities that have been found are in Rome right now. There has been contact with the Iraqi embassy in Rome so as to facilitate the return of the pieces to Iraq.
The Italian side plans to renovate a number of Iraqi museums in Nasiriyah, Diwaniyah, and Najaf. This comes after the success they achieved in rehabilitating the Ashur Hall in the Iraqi Museum. From Baghdad, Zaid Al-Taye, Iraqiya TV.
The following is taken from the Hopi newsletter, the Techqua Ikachi, number 21, concerning the spiral. This is a coil basket symbolizing the road of life. It is called Buddha, meaning some great test, which we will experience during our journey. Hopi tradition says we started our travel from the center or beginning of life, when life was perfect. But soon we began to face new obstacles. Small groups of ambitious-minded men wanted to change their ways away from the original path. They were only small groups at first, but with time they increased to great numbers. Those who wanted to keep to their original ways became fewer and fewer. Since mankind has lost peace with one another through the conflict because of the new ways, the Great Spirit, the Great Creator, has punished the people in many ways. Through all of this, there was always a small group who survived to keep the original ways of life alive. This small group are those who adhere to the laws of the Creator, who keep the spiritual path open, out of the circle of evil. According to our knowledge, we are not quite out of the circle. The men with ambitious minds will decrease, while the people of good hearts who live in harmony with the earth, we will increase, until the earth is rid of evil. If the Hopi are right, this will be accomplished, and the earth will bloom again. The spiritual door is open. Why not join the righteous people?
constructed. There's been no official comment, though, from the Russian military.
In a bizarre coincidence, the LHC CERN facility created world record energy collisions the same day, December 10, 2009, as the mysterious spiral was observed. Watch here as Sergio Bertolucci, the director for research computing at CERN, talks about the ability to be able to open up.
Lights seen in the Arctic sky. The spiralling white light was seen for several minutes Wednesday morning. Locals say the light appeared to be bigger than the moon. Thousands of Norwegians bombarded the Meteorological Institute to ask what that light could have possibly been. Some feared it could have been a meteor, others a black hole, and there are even those that thought it could be aliens. But defence experts in Oslo suggest it is more likely to have been a failed Russian missile launched from the area of the White Sea. They think a rocket probably went out of control and self-destructed.
More complicated than sending a man to the moon. And this is not said by us, it's said by the people who sent the man to the moon. Four figures. Two of them are general purpose. They want just to see everything, and they are very poised just to get all the possible things which might come out. You know, when you do a new machine, there are three types of things you are looking at.
On December 10, 2009, a mysterious spiral appeared over Norway above the White Sea. This spiral Stargate, as was called in many media outlets, was witnessed and caught on tape by onlookers. While speculation has ranged from HARP to Nibiru to Russian missile tests, we will examine the spiral here in a different way in this video.
More news before that tonight. Norwegian authorities are investigating strange
wormholes using CERN.
I could just go on just telling you the other things which make this thing absolutely unique and most possibly the biggest scientific enterprise tried by mankind up to this point. I don't know whether it's clear or not, but just doing the LHC and the experiment and getting all the information is